Hey everybody, it's Aquila, and this is a Lefty Knitter podcast, and this is episode 44. Today is November 10th, and in 2 days, on November 12th, will be my 3-year YouTube anniversary. My first, glasses are dirty, sorry about that. My first video I ever published on November 12th, 3 years ago, was about the the Maryland Alpaca and Fleece Festival, which you should go back and watch that one. We just totally went again yesterday, so I have a few things to show from that. And yeah, went to Rhinebeck too, so I have to talk about that a little bit. It's gonna be pretty much an FO show because I have whips, but not much worked on them, so. You can find me at aquilladahun on Ravelry and on Instagram. I'll link everything below. You guys have seen this before. It is now finished. I think I was really close to being done, or maybe the ends needed to be woven. I can't remember. It's been a month. So let me just jump right in, and this is Graphica by Casapinka. If you've seen hers, it's pink and white, or cream color. It's super bright. So I bought my yarn from Paige the Framer from her shop, and she was having a huge blowout sale, and I've never used this yarn before. It calls for DK weight, and I've never used this yarn, like I said. I bought 4 skeins of the Luna Gray Zeta, and this is called Viridian, the green. I still have 1 skein left of this. So that's pretty exciting that I still have a skein left, because I don't have a lot of DK weight in my stash. The other color, which I have little balls left, I'll just end up throwing them in my blanket, is the Luna Gray also. This is a 85% Polworth wool and 15% silk. It was really nice to work with. The creamy color was called Oatmeal. And I bought 2 of those, and I still have this much left of the second one. So I can't remember which size I did. I could probably go through here, but I also put my notes on Ravelry. I'm usually pretty good about keeping my project pages really up to date and detailed on what I do, changes I make, modifications, etc. So I did have to extend the arms a little, and I did have to make them a little smaller. I had to do some decreasing because I didn't like how wide they were. So they were really, really wide. Like, I really decreased down a lot to get to this part. So let me stand up and show you. I love it. That's weird, like I have a dip there. It might have been where it was folded. So I wore it to Rhinebeck for the first time. And I wore it yesterday to the Alpaca Festival also. This yarn does pill a little. It's not terrible. But I really do think this is a beautiful sweater. I love green. Green's my favorite color. All greens. And I have to kind of pull myself away because the other sweater I just started is also green. It's really bad. Really bad. Okay, so that was Graphica by Casapinka. Again, I'm really enjoying color work. I would take this off and show you the floats, but I don't have a tank top one underneath of it. The only thing I don't love about this sweater and the sweater I'm also making, I'm not a big fan of big open necks. I mean, it's not terrible, but again, I like it to be a little bit higher. So I really need to think about that when I'm starting projects and casting on projects. Do I start with a smaller size and then do some extra increases in the yoke or the raglan to get it to the size I need? Maybe that's what I need to do. Who knows? Or not pick sweaters that have such a open neckline. The other project I have that's finished is a sample knit for Paige. So I had showed you guys the little pea pod not the pea pod, it's not a pea pod. It's the butterfly and cocoon. I showed you that on the last episode because I wanted to get it mailed out. Didn't get it mailed out, but now that I have the other sweater done, this one's so cute. So this is the Anders sweater. It is not blocked yet. Again, it's more color work. I'm loving color work. Not blocked. and I don't have buttons to put on it. I think I'm gonna talk to Paige and see if she has buttons in her shop and let her pick buttons since it's gonna be a shop sample for her. So this is the Anders sweater. I had to weigh the yarn that I had left in the green, like the tealy green, to see how much I had after I finished. And here, quick, I'll show you real fast. The pea pod real quick. Or, I keep calling it a pea pod. I still didn't do the face on this either. Terrible. So I had to see how much of this I had left because then that would determine what size I made for the Anders sweater. These are, again, it's wool, which I had never used this before. I bought some finally. This is the Sport. This is called Devil's Pool, was the green color, tealish color. And the wool, this was also wool. And I have a lot of this left, bar now. Because the sweater didn't take much and the little butterfly's head was done in that color. But I love this. So I need to block it out for her, weave in my ends, get the face on the butterfly, and get this out to her. It turned out super cute. I don't have a project page for this, I don't think, yet. Because I just didn't get to that. I had mentioned in my last episode, I believe, I was dealing with a lot of weird sickness stuff that I didn't know what was going on. I checked myself into the emergency room. I did get to see a pulmonologist, and the pulmonologist believes that I have seasonal allergies that are causing asthma. And they ran all these breathing tests, and one of the levels was really super high, which meant my lungs were really, really inflamed. So they had me on a steroid inhaler, a daily steroid inhaler. Now there's 3 levels. There's like the lowest amount of steroids, and then there's the highest. Because of all that inflammation, they did decide to change which daily inhaler I'm on, and I will go back to see them in 2 weeks, 2 months. I also have to get blood drawn because they want to run some tests on what things I might be allergic to. So that's what I'll be doing. You need to go away and not make a lot of noise, please. Thank you. Okay, you don't want to, but you need to. Bye. No. Then you're not going to the special place that I'm taking you today, so you need to go away. What special place? Exactly, you don't need to know. Go away. Baby, come on. No. Okay, she'll be quiet. I doubt that. She's never quiet. So that's the Anders sweater. I don't remember the designer. Oh my gosh, this is a hot mess. So I am feeling a lot better, just, but I don't want to be on this inhaler every day all year. So I'm hoping it'll be like a seasonal thing, and I'll only have to take it when, you know, spring comes and fall comes, and yeah. That's where we are with that. But I do feel a lot better. I'm not having as many coughing fits as I was having. Yeah, you're not quiet. You're not quiet at all.
Hazel.
All right. The 2 more finished objects are the heel toe do-si-do socks I was making. It's the Crazy Cat Lady K Litton. And I was using trucking. And the color is 603. It doesn't have a name on the label, but it's the Trucking XXL. And I let Miss Z pick this yarn for a special person, and this is going to be a Christmas present. So I like how it pulled. Oh, it's really nice. It's kind of Christmassy. To see the pattern, here's the yarn. It didn't quite stripe, which is a lot of people were using a striping yarn to make this sock because it looks really cool on the front of the sock. So you can't really see what's going on here on the blocker. I'll take this off and try to show you the best I can. I can't do anything in my household without being interrupted, ever. So you can see how it makes these V's like a zigzag. And it goes all the way up the front of the sock, and then the back is just strain stockinette. And I did follow her pattern to a T. I did the heel she calls for and everything. I'm not a big fan for the person I'm gifting this to do afterthought heels because just, you know, big feet. This is why I feel like I shouldn't have a podcast, because it's not even worthy of putting on the internet. Yeah. Okay. I think she's trying to be as quiet as possible, but kids are not quiet. So those are the heel toe do-si-do socks. I really liked this pattern. It was a 4-row repeat for the front, so it was really memorizable. Yeah, I didn't weave my ends in yet. That's gonna be done, but I don't have to have that done until Christmas, so I really love the colors in these. They're really fun. So the last thing I have to show is kind of a quick, I'm gonna knit this up and then I need to rip it back to the decreases and correct it because it's not quite tall enough. I need another 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So the yarn in this, I was gifted from Jenny in my knit group. We've known each other for many, many years through our knitting group. This yarn, and it was gifted for a specific purpose to make a specific thing. This is Miss Babs. I've never used Miss Babs. I know that sounds crazy. The lines for Miss Babs are always ridiculous, and I just kind of stay away from that booth. And I know I shouldn't, and you know, try to try all the dyers, but since I was gifted some, you know, this is the Yummy 3-ply Sport, and it's 100% superwash merino wool, and the colorway is called Light Turquoise. She also gifted me this. Now this is, I have no clue what brand it is. It is some sort of fun fur in a white, shimmery white. You know, so much fun to work with. It might not be fun fur. It might be like a feather, whatever, eyelash. Hi. Now bye. So, here's what I made. And this is for, of course, little Miss Hi over there. Go away. Bye. 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 Okay. Hi, guys. Okay. So I cast on a 1x1 rib. What size did I use? I looked up sport weight hats and I'm pretty sure I used a 4. I used a 4. So the bottom is a 1x1 rib with both of these held together. And then I dropped the fun fur and knit with just the Miss Babs yarn until I got, and it was 80 stitches. Not that I think that matters, because I think most people can kind of come up with a number. So 80 stitches, and you can see where I got to my decreases. I need to rip out back to my decreases and make it a little bit longer. It sits on her head like just right, like not quite just right. I shouldn't say just right, because then I wouldn't be ripping it back. I want a little bit of room to grow, so I want another 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That way she does have plenty of room in the next year or two to wear it. I don't think her head's gonna be growing too much more like that quickly. And I used one of my pom-pom makers, and if you've ever used a pom-pom maker, I wrapped one side with the turquoise and one side with the white, and then on the white side I added a little bit more of the turquoise to give it like, so it was color blocked a little bit. I love the idea of the color block pom-poms. I think they look really cool. It's just tied in, it's not sewn in. I need to get a larger button to put inside because I love the removable idea that you put the button in, thread it through the button, and tie it, and that way you can take it off for washing. Although I don't know how well you can wash fun fur, but if I had to hand wash it, at least I could hand wash the top part. This stuff made a hot mess when I had to trim the pom-pom. It's still everywhere. It's everywhere. It's such a mess. Okay, so those are all the finished things. I did cast on the Red Moon sweater, and you may have seen that in my Instagram feed or my stories. I don't don't think I'm going to show that right now because I have acquisitions from Shenandoah, acquisitions from Rhinebeck, and acquisitions from the Alpaca Fleece Festival yesterday. And I really don't want to like, I've never been a huge person that's like, oh, look at all the stuff I bought, because I'm really not trying to buy a lot of things. I bought 2 things at Shenandoah, which I love that festival every year. There's a lot of great vendors. Go away.
Come on, baby.
You're in your underwear. Pardon my language, but this is a poop show. I won't say it. All right. I know there's a lot of viewers out there that the interruptions sometimes get to them, and I guess that resonates and sits in my head, and I try not to think about that, and I try to be like, you know what, this is my podcast and I can do what I want, and if my kid comes in, then my kid comes in, and you don't have to watch me. So I guess I'm not trying to be like that, because I'm not like that, but at the same time, she's my kid, and she's gonna come in, and that's just gonna be how it is. So this was the last festival for Marigold Jen, and so I decided I had to buy something else from her. I was looking for a certain colorway, which she didn't have, which I was okay with. So I went with something completely different, and I bought a DK weight. So I'm trying to build up a little of my DK weight stash. And this is, so there's her label. And this is 100% merino superwash, 250 yards. And this is called Total Eclipse. And it is magnificent. It's really great. And then the other thing I bought, which I've never bought yarn from them either, which is Hip Strings. Very super nice people. I don't know why I've never just, you know, really went in and talked to them, but they're super nice. And I saw this yarn and I thought it was really cool, and then they explained the yarn, which it makes it even more cool. So this is Hip Strings. This is called Double Minor. So you get 2 skeins, 400 yards total. It's a fingering weight, 3-ply. Now I don't think I've ever used Targhee. It's 90% Targhee and 10% nylon. This colorway is called Raven and Green Fairy. Now the cool thing of this one, I don't know which one, but one of them they'll gradiate. You almost have to go on their Instagram feed and check it out. Until I knit them up, it's going to be hard to show kind of in this game, but they're going to gradiate from the Green Fairy to the Raven, and the other one will gradiate the opposite, not quite the opposite, it'll be more dominant. One of them will be more dominant. I think that's how it works. Or are they matching? Now I can't remember. But they were so nice, and I had to buy this. They had a lot of great colors that gradiated, and again, green, I love green, and I'm not sure if these will be for me or from somebody else, but I know I will enjoy knitting them. So yeah, there's those. So Rhinebeck was really great. I had not been in 5 or 6 years before Z was born. And so we had rented Jenny had done all the legwork for us, the lady that gifted me this, a cabin at the campground. It wasn't quite a cabin, it was a cottage. So it was a house, and it was like 6 of us, 5 of us, 6 adults, 2 kids, and it was great. And because it was Halloween time, they had the whole barn set up for Halloween. They had like a stage that was all set up, and the girls went up and were goofing off on the stage. And of course, one of the nights they had a hayride through the campground, and we rode it twice because they didn't care. They were just like, yeah, let's do this. So it was really, really nice. We didn't, with me bringing Z, I didn't do a lot of extra stuff. We didn't get there till like 4 or 5 o'clock-ish, maybe earlier than that, on Friday. So I wasn't even trying to go to like Needles Up or Indian Tangled or all the things, because it wasn't gonna work with a kid. Not to say that it wouldn't be kid friendly, it's just frustrating, and I want to like not. If I didn't have her, I know it would be easier to enjoy. That's all. So we were there. I left Sunday, sorry. So Saturday was so nice. The weather was great. I met a lot of wonderful people. I got to see a lot of different people that I knew from just online. So that was always nice. And of course, Hazel dictated the day with seeing the Frisbee dog show, which was really cool. And if you get a chance to follow them on Instagram, I follow them. I can post the link for them. All of their dogs are rescue dogs, and I just think that's amazing. And she almost made probably the whole crowd cry with one of her stories of one of the dogs. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. I'm gonna have a little bit of bag rustling here. One thing we did get that's over here, of course, the tag is now off of it, but you guys have all seen these. Miss Z really wanted the little sheepy in the ballerina. Super cute little felted sheep with the tutu. So that was cute. We got, oh, I met the girls from Cocktail Hour at the Coop, and I got a little koozie, and that was really nice of them. They're so sweet, and their other sister was there, and their mom was there, and on Sunday we actually sat pretty much with them and their whole group at the Leaping Llamas, and of course that was really exciting because I had never seen that before. I'd only been to Rhinebeck one other time. Z got a big kick out of it, and we were all cheering. Of course, we're all, you know, it was wonderful. Oh, was it? This was the company, I think, for the land art for the sheep. I went with intentions of buying 2, 3 things: dryer balls and soap, from body soap. I got those right off the bat. So the dryer balls were the wool dryer balls, and I just got the 2. Like all the girls in my knitting group that went, they actually, almost everybody bought them too. It was pretty cool. Where's my soap? Oh, Hazel saw this, and so most people that go to Maryland and Rhinebeck have seen this artist. Now, of course, we're not religious, but Z doesn't realize that this is a religious picture, and she just thought it was darling and cute, and I mean, I understand that because that little sheep is adorable. Kind of matches the little sheep with her little bow here. So I bought it. It doesn't bother me that it is not based on religion, but I guess whatever. It doesn't bother me. If she likes it, it's cute. I just got to get a frame and hang it in her room. We've talked to her about religion before because it's come up in like shows and stuff or movies, and she's asked, you know, that type of thing. This is the artist. We've got a bunch of cards. So you've seen Sheep Incognito by Connie Togel. Super cute. So got some cards. The thing I didn't, let me find the soap. Soap is in this bag. I can smell it. Sorry. I'm going to be taking stuff out and making a lot of noise. Okay. So the soap I got was from, here's the bag, Merryweather's. Now, all the previous soap I've ever gotten was like goat milk based soaps, and I really like those. But she had, these are olive oil based soaps, I believe. So I bought 3. Yeah, I got a mess in here. I haven't really went through all this stuff and put anything away because I wanted to record and show everybody. So I bought 3 soaps. 1 is for John, 2 are for me. Patchouli Pleasure is mine. And then also Patchouli, Poppy, and Hemp Oh My is also mine. And you can see it has the poppy seeds in it. Yeah. Yeah, olive oil is one of the first ingredients, and then all the other things. And the one I got for John is called Mediterranean Breezes. I can't remember what's lavender. It's definitely lavender. You can smell that. Maybe like rosemary oil, sweet almond oil, vanilla, and the lavender. It smells really good. Oh, it tells you on the back. It smells good. So now I can put these in our bathroom to actually use. I love the body soaps. I'm wondering how much I'm going to like the olive oil one since we've never used it. So an unexpected purchase at Rhinebeck was I bought a punch needle. I've wanted to try doing punch needle, and I've watched a bunch of videos. If anybody remembers Andre Sue, she was doing a ton of punch needle, and she was doing these really cool rugs. She also used to dye sock blanks. She doesn't do the sock blanks anymore. So I bought an Oxford punch needle. This is a number 10. I thought it said it on my needle. Oh, I'm sorry. I bought a number 9. I bought the mid-length one because I didn't want the short one and I didn't want the longer one. They also make minis. And then there's other companies that make punch needles that's more for like thread. So if you start Googling and YouTubing, you're going to see a mix of videos of different punch needles. Now this one is more for like worsted weight yarn or doubling up DK or possibly even tripling fingering weight. And I just have so much like acrylic yarn in my stash. I want to start making things as presents and kind of using it, pillows, stuff like that, wall hangings. So of course I jump right in. The lady had used monk's cloth for your punch needling. So I bought some of that too. I bought a hoop, which I didn't really need an extra hoop, but I bought one. So I get home and I'm like, I am gonna just go nuts. And the pattern I decided to pick, if you've ever seen the vintage Halloween cat, we have like a couple hanging in our living room. We really love that. We're very eclectic and have a very strange living room. Lots of weird stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna dive right in, and I just went down and picked a bunch of yarn out of my stash, and the pattern was too busy for the size that I printed out. I feel like if I would have printed this picture out larger, so I've learned things already, which is great. If I would have printed it out larger, you would have seen better detail. So I've already even tried to manipulate the loops on the front side to make them look better so that you can see the image, but it's really actually really hard to see. You can see the image better on the back side, so I'm going to show you the back. So the back is nice and flat. If you've never seen punch needle or done punch needle, the back is really, really flat, right? And then that's where you work from. You actually work from the back to the front. So when you punch through your cloth, it goes through, like if I were to punch, that's how long my loops are. So it's kind of, you know, you can buy all different lengths, which is really nice, depending on what you want to do with it, what look you're looking for, texture you're looking for. So you saw the back, which is really messy because I haven't really cleaned it up either. And then here's the front. Now, from far away, you can kind of see the image because it's all about, like, I guess, distortion of the visual field in the eye and all that kind of thing. So up close, it just kind of looks, I don't know, it kind of looks like a hot mess. You can kind of see it better from far away. But you can see that this is only the size of my hand, which is not very big. And using a worsted weight yarn, you're just not going to get that detail that you're looking for. So I've learned lessons already. I am excited to do more now. And now I can even do more because yesterday, one of my acquisitions at the Alpaca Festival was some more monk's cloth because there was a lady that had punch needles. She had some Oxford ones and she had another one that was more for like thinner, like a lot thinner weight yarn. It was $24 and I decided I was not going to spend that money because I'm not going to keep pushing money into different crafts if I'm not going to like really follow through with it. So the other acquisition, other than my punch needle, that wasn't thought about ahead of time, I've never used Into the World yarn. And so on Sunday, this was my only purchase. We got there when they opened, we ate, and then they were calling for rain. So I know I didn't want to stay super late because I had to drive home with a 4-year-old. So I stopped at the Into the World booth and I wanted to buy something from them to try. Now, I wanted something more neutral tonal, not variegated. Now, this does have some speckling in it, but it's pretty much a one color yarn. I feel like I could really use this in some color work because that's really what I'm trying to now use up all my yarns in some different color work stuff and do some like mix match monster Frankenstein sweater, socks, etc. to use up all of this yarn that I have. I'm never going to be able to make enough socks out of all these single skeins. It's just not going to happen. So this is the 75-25 Superwash Merino Nylon, and this is called Dressed to the Nines. So it's like a nice gray with the black speckling. I didn't undo this, but it's not a ton of speckling. I mean, there is, but like I said, it's going to be a pretty tonal yarn. So there's my last purchase from Rhinebeck. The drive home was quite terrible. Luckily, so Hazel's not the best traveler. She gets sick in the car. So both ways I had dosed her with Dramamine, and we have the C-bands for her wrists. But luckily, oh, so nice, she passed out and fell asleep for quite some time both ways. On the way up, we only had to make one stop, and on the way home, we only made one stop. But the way home, it was raining so bad. It took us like 7 hours to make a 4-hour trip. It was what it was, and we had to get home because I had to go to work and she had to go to school. End of story. Like, I couldn't just pull off and be like, we're staying the night. That's not gonna happen. So that was Rhinebeck, and we actually booked the cottage already for next year, so I'm hoping like I'll get to be a part of it. It can only hold so many people, so we can only like, our group's not huge. Like, there's like a consistent 8 to 10 of us, and it holds 6. So, I mean, we'll figure it out. If we have to bring an air mattress, we will. So, I have a mess all over this table. The last stuff I wanted to show was, of course, yesterday from the Alpaca and Fleece Festival. It was so nice. We got pictures, of course, of Z playing in the leaves, which we have pictures from every year. And I think John and I both posted on our Instagram stories and feed some of those pictures. So it was really cool to see her like growing up through the pictures. I had known I wanted to stop here. Now, I'm really not trying to buy yarn, guys. So I knew this was one purchase I was going to make. So I get to her booth, and everything was like 15% off. You can't beat that. And I really love this. It's all naturally dyed yarn, and her company is called Color Storms. Now, this is a fingering gradient. She sells them in sets of 5s and 6s. And this one is called, it actually has a name. Let me look, because I was looking at that earlier. Somerset, it's called. So, I think I would switch these two if I were to use them all in one thing. So, it's all using natural dyes. Like, how amazing is that? To get, and she has, go on her website, go on her Instagram, I'll link it below. The colors that she gets, she had a set, and I was gonna buy it. And it gradated from like browns to greens, and of course, I need to get away from the green a little bit, or else I'm gonna have like 18 sweaters that are green. So that's why I went with this, and I figure if I match it with something like a cream or a tan, think that would be really super beautiful. Or even a dark brown would be fine. Which you know, I love these colors too. I love all colors. Z asked me that yesterday, and she's like, well, do you love this? I was like, yeah, I love all colors. I mean, I love green, but there's not really a color that I'm like, ew, I hate that. It doesn't really happen. So, here's my monk's cloth I bought. So I got a half a yard for $16. That's a lot in there. I already have plans for a Christmas present. The company was called Mulberry Hill Farm. And so they do punch needle applique kits and finished goods, and then they have yarn and roving and thread and wool fabric. So they were a farm that really caters to not quite just knitting. It's like all the fiber arts that involve like the felting and stuff like that. So that's monk's cloth. My table's really getting messy. Then John went to this booth and bought this yarn, and it's really beautiful. And the skein, it doesn't look that big. It didn't look that big until I looked at the tag, and I was like, holy cow. So this is uknitsew.com, and this is called Glitch because it was an accident in the dye pot, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't quite what she was going for, I guess. Maybe she even ruined...
She said she could never make it again if she wanted to.
Oh, she could never make it again, and she wanted to, apparently. It is beautiful. This yarn, it's 100% fingering weight, superwash merino. It's 150 grams, and it's 822 yards. 822 yards. This is so much yarn. So I need to look at maybe like a short sleeve top and use all this yarn in one project. Again, green. He knows me. It's really super soft. And then I ran into Trish and Arthella from the Best Day Ever podcast. If you have not seen that, you should definitely go check it out. Those ladies are producing some magnificent things. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful projects. So I'll link them and their Instagrams below. Now, they're so sweet. She like pulls this bag out and I'm like, no, you don't have to, no. I don't go expecting anything out of anyone. I just enjoy the community and seeing everyone, but this was just super sweet. So she gifted me some Plucky. I have never used Plucky. I've never even attempted to try, buy Plucky, because I think in the past it was really hard to get a hold of. I think it's a lot easier now to get a hold of. This is the Primo Fingering, and it's merino cashmere nylon. And it's called I Carried a Watermelon, and the inspiration is Dirty Dancing, which we all love Dirty Dancing. And then these are little minis that she dyed, natural dyed yarn that Trish did. How sweet is that? Like, they're gonna be really cool in a hat, I think is what I'm gonna plan to use them for. Or maybe with this, because it is really beautiful against that. I think I might have to do that. So, my video is flashing at me saying I don't have much more time. But Arthella also gifted me one of her pins, and that was super sweet too. Let me take it out of this. So, it says, can we all just knit along? And it's green, and her favorite color is also green. High five to the green people out there. Yes. All right. I'm gonna end this, wrap it up, get it, posted out there on the YouTubes. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week, month, year. I've seen so many people post YouTube videos about Rhinebeck, and all of them are just amazing, and it was so cool to see just everyone in this community. They said it was the biggest turnout ever for Rhinebeck, and that's pretty crazy. So until next time, y'all, knit happy. See ya.